Welcome to the Never Clocked Out Daily Podcast by Buck Holly. Coming to you live from Richmond Hill, Georgia, the home of C&H Precision, Grounds and Rounds, Ruck Pack, Bully Works, and a few others. On today's episode, we're going to cover one of my favorite topics, and the first topic that we should talk about very shortly, so let's get into it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that one of my favorite sayings is, do hard shit. Do hard shit. Yeah, I'm sorry for those listening that think that that's a swear word or evil word. Like, in today's society, that's one of the tamest words you can say. And I like that moniker, do hard shit. And I'll say do hard stuff for kids, but you have to understand that if you aren't accustomed to doing hard stuff, if you're not accustomed to being comfortable, being uncomfortable, you're setting a limit. You're setting a ceiling on how far you will go and how far you're capable of going. If you spent any time in the military, around military personnel, law enforcement, professional shooters, etc., you'll know that we all spend a great deal of time training. They do hard shit on a regular basis to maximize their capability, because in that same scenario, when you're under duress, when you're under extreme stress, you can only achieve about 50% of your training in normal conditions. Let me explain. Let's say you are an expert pistol shooter. I've done many pistol qualifications. And let's just say the top score is a 300, and to achieve expert, you have to shoot a 285 or better. So that means you can only afford a couple misses at the 5, the 10, the 15, and 25 yard line. So if you can achieve expert 285 or better on a regular basis, when there's no stress, you're on the firing line, the only stress might be an instructor and your comrades to the right and to the left of you. That's your really only competition. You're competing with yourself. And if you can score expert on a majority of your qualifications, if and when you get into a real world situation under heavy stress or duress, your hit percentages are going to decline for several different reasons: heart rate, respiratory, movement, contact. All of these things play a factor. On a flat range, your target's not moving, or it's just blading back and forth. So there's not a lot of dynamic movement involved in qualifications. So then when you get into a dynamic environment, things and people and obstacles are moving, you're moving, your heart rate, you're trying to listen to comms, all of that. So that's why they say you train to an exceptional level. You train as high as you can, because you always fall back to about 50% of that performance. So if you're a middle of the pack shooter, your performance is going to be even less than that exceptional shooter. I carry this theory in everything that I do. Do hard stuff, whether it's in business, whether it's training, it's working out, training adult, everything is done to an exceptional high level, because I want to have to be able to fall back under duress to a point. Hopefully my fallback 50% is what normal people do at their best. And this involves everything in your life. This involves work, friends, community involvement. A lot of people are so worried about what people think about you that they only push things to the point where it might become a little uncomfortable. They're not interested in going into that uncomfortable space where things really happen. Look at weightlifting. If you go to the gym and you're bench pressing just the bar every day, are you moving? Yes. Are you getting stronger? Ever so slightly. But how do you actually build muscle and build endurance and build strength? You got to put weights on. You got to put plates on there, and you got to push hard. So if you're in daily life, in business, or in your personal life, and you're not willing to push the boundaries, you're not going to get stronger. You're not going to get ahead. You're going to be middle of the pack in basically everything you do. And I know a lot of people, and it's become culturally the norm that people expect. It's now becoming the norm that people expect everybody to just be nice and play nice. And, oh, he's becoming a little, this topic is getting a little sensitive. Maybe we should defer, or we'll come back to that because it's uncomfortable. I have so many conversations with people that as soon as a conversation becomes uncomfortable, just the slightest bit, they check out. They can't do it. They cannot function when there's just a little bit of controversy, when there's a little bit of disagreement. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion on every topic than me. We'll agree on some things. We're gonna agree on, and we need to explore those boundaries and push past those. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the middle of the pack. So, I don't want to go on for for an hour on this, but I also like to say you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Go for a walk. Simply go for a walk. Get out of bed at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Lace up your sneakers, put a t-shirt and some shorts, put your ear pods in, go for a walk. You might say, well, I can't run anymore. Go for a walk. Put a weighted vest on. Go for a walk. Actually, walking with a weighted vest studies show it might be as good or better than running. It's easier on your joints, your feet, your knees, your ankles, your back. Run if you can. Go to the gym. Instead of getting up in the morning, making a cup of coffee and going right for your phone or right for your laptop, go spend an hour by yourself, improving yourself, getting out of your comfort zone. I love the cold plunge. Why? All the studies out there will tell you that maybe it releases some endorphins or whatever it does. I don't know. The best reason to cold plunge, I think, is that you're getting into 40 or 45 degree water for 2 or 3 minutes. And you have to be so mentally focused to complete that. It hurts. It stings. It's painful. But you get out of that and you're like, I could do it again. I don't want to until tomorrow. I don't ever want to ever again. But there is a factor of accomplishment that goes along with that. Like if you cold plunge in the morning, you spend 3 minutes suffering. I like to tell people, after that, I can go the rest of the day and nothing or very few things that come up in the rest of my day are going to be as painful or as hard to accomplish as what I did earlier in the day. 3 minutes in a cold plunge at 42 degrees or 45 degrees. That is miserable. But fast forward, you're like, well, this meeting kind of sucks, but it's not as bad as the suck that I had this morning in the cold plunge. Walking, lifting weights, all those things. So I encourage you, and let me chat on this. We as parents and leaders need to do more hard stuff. Why? Because we are guiding our children and maybe our grandchildren. I grew up during an era when in an era in a region where doing hard stuff was the norm. I worked for my grandfather when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, a little dude. I was carrying bundles of shingles on my shoulder, up a ladder, onto a hot roof. I remember shingling a garage on Lake Washington in Darwin, Minnesota. And the shingles were so hot coming off the pallet, we had to walk them down and set them in the lake to cool them off a little bit so that you could pry them apart without them breaking apart and coming apart. We had to cool them off in the water in the lake, then haul them back up to the house, up on top of the garage and stacked them. We didn't have these lifts, all these things that you see, these modern technologies. They got conveyor belts, or they got these that's telelifts that lift them up there. Man, we didn't have any of that. So we hauled shingles up on top of the roofs. We didn't have any magnets to go around and pick up stuff. We had to rake in the bushes and the grass to get all the nails out. We used to walk to the deer stand. It might be a mile. We didn't have ATVs and four-wheelers. It was cold out. You got your little hat, your little boots that weren't super insulated, and you walked out to your deer stand, and you walk back. Now, today, everybody jumps in a side-by-side or an ATV, and they drive to within 50 feet, and then they park. So we as parents and leaders are continue as we age and we develop more wealth and we can buy more toys, we seemingly take the easy route, and we don't make our kids do the hard things in life. There is something fundamentally wrong with that. I have made every one of my kids, yes, we can afford to go do cool things and we can afford these cool toys, but I intentionally don't give them every advantage that they could have because I want them to experience, yes, we got to go from here to there and we're going to walk. I understand it's hot and take some water. Well, yes, I understand it's heavy. Put it in your pack. Oh, you don't have a pack? There's a pack right there. Put your ammo and your bullets and your water and your book and whatever else in there, and let's go for a walk. We're not going to drive the truck or the Jeep or the ATV down there. So we're losing that ability to do hard stuff. We're teaching younger generations that hard stuff is not, well, we're probably not teaching them that it's worth it, but I hope and I implore that any parent that's doing, or grandparent, you might have to grab your grandkids and go do hard stuff because maybe the parents aren't willing or can't or don't have enough time. So if you grew up in a generation like I did, then I encourage you to continue to do the hard stuff that you've done when you were younger, and grab one of your grandkids or your kids and go experience nature, outdoors, hiking, hunting, climbing trees, all the stuff. Do some hard stuff and build your tolerance so you get from here, which you think is exceptional, but there are different levels of exceptional that you can get to. So if this is where you are under stress and duress, you're going to be here. But I would rather that you be up here so that under stress and duress, you get to here, which is where you were before. Until next time, I'll see you on the next podcast, and we'll find another fun topic to talk about. Until then, boom.
Black Ford parked where the blacktop ends. Cold night air and a fire with friends. Game or no game, it all works out. It's the hunt that stays, never clocked out.